but what
Okay,
inspires your
thank you.
song when you are composing. Let it not look like I'm taking much time. Let me just ask this last question, then I'm done. By
Okay,
now, personally, Ononania, it's like I want to throw a shade at you, so you accept it like that. Eguyo.
okay,
Uh-huh.
no
By
problem.
now, for me, you are supposed to be one of the musicians that is well talked about in Benin. But today you are doing cultural dance. Why did you choose to settle for cultural music instead of going into full-time live band performance as a musician? So answer Yakube, I
Okay.
asked about your inspiration in writing song and the
Yeah.
the performance aspect.
Okay.
That's my last question
Thank
that
you
I have.
very much. Thank you very much for that question. It's a very vital question. And talking about the composition of my songs, I don't just sing because I want to sing. I don't just sing because I want to sing. I sing with an inspiration and vision, which I do not know. I cannot explain this. It's a vision that God gave me that I work with, and I don't know how it comes. And sometimes, after my song, most of the songs near Uyoto now, it talks about me, but I've not gotten there. It might say that, but of recent, I started passing through them, seeing myself going through it, those situations. Like I saw San Wetaban, a bam is one like Bira. Oyo man no re baby, no re baby. Or was a baby ado adegi. At the time, like you said, I believe the film I did brought Benin movie into limelight, which is evbakoe. Yes, brought Benin movies. Every other movies that was done before evbakoe was not heard about, except like Wu, which was as very old. But every other movie being after before evbakoe was not heard. evbakoe brought Benin film to limelight. Now, my inspiration, I cannot explain. That is from God, of which metobime me I like better when it ido awe igwa kan wa tie na ne igwa kan ne like I saw sani e ba me do like better no kan o ye no agbopo nwa ile lagwo bebe yeze no agbo o ile lagwo akwe ani eheni no sama mo aye generi baloma go agbo bebe agbo ito o eriro asosa eriro asosa, like that. And then I also talked about oh yeah, oh yeah, no yeah, oh no yeah, oh yo no yeah, oh mwagiaga uemegbe mwagiaga to egbe mwageru nduku naga enaga gbelegbe enaga popegbe enagi mame nagbo eri yomame utomagbo yo eri agbuje eri ro asosa. So what am I saying? Like what I just said now in that song. My father died 4 years ago, and I'm the first son of my father. You know, going through that stuff of sharing of property and all that, I started discovering so many things that was hidden from me. So, anabidu yimeri where imaka temenane, but moido I like bira. Then there are so many songs like that. Let me just cut that short. Then talking about the other question again.
Uh, Performance, like why are you not
Yes, 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 yes. Yes,
you
thank
are
you
doing
very much,
cultural
my brother.
music?
I'm doing cultural music. Yes, actually, I started with cultural music. But I was in love with guitar. music, but I started with culture. As a young man, I was in love with Akabaman, Udomore, Omegu, and some other songs like that. Actually, I started with English songs like Michael Button, Brian Adams. That's what I do in school. Everybody knows I do English songs. But when I fell in love with my native language, which is a Do language, I fell in love with those people I just mentioned their name. And then I started doing songs the way they do on my own. I don't have a master on that. Of all the songs I'm doing, I composed it myself and I hum it myself in the studio and they follow me up. Okay. Then for the culture, I have a master on that, which is the Inner Theatre Troupe, which is of Viasoge and Sonny Obasuyi. Those are my master on cultural display. I was comfortable. I later discovered that I'm comfortable with that because on my normal year guitar, a guitar goes with keys. Why the cultural aspect of it doesn't go with key? Okay, I find myself comfortable in that. Not that I cannot do. 1 minute, please. So, not sorry for the break in transmission. Not that I cannot do music. I do music very well, but I discovered that I need to do a lot of rehearsals with having boys that can follow my kind of music. Also, most of musicians they can't sing my song. You find it difficult. The chorus of power so say, you find yourself in dragging it and all that. So yeah, was where I saw so even me to be me or ye log in your so I can do that very well. But to the level I am now in music, I think I understand the both side. But because we Ivana doing me culture, so they prefer booking me on culture because I'm also a dancer, like I said. I dance very well. Okay, ni na be be age ne kiri na be so bo ne ya bu ekun edopa adogwe bo mi eyan pa bo na yan pa be no pa Okame is still very young, so na feko ye my brother.
But you are a
So
lover
that's
of
it.
cultural
I'm a
repertoire.
lover of culture.
That's just
Yes,
it. Not that you
that is
cannot
what.
do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is where I started from. I
Yes, you
told you
love it. That protect. I
where
did
I
with you for
love.
Benin now.
Yeah, what
Mm-hmm.
I love. It was you is what you are saying. Even whether I
Exactly.
did anything. And do you know that even before now, me hear anything culture. All my albums are guitar. Do you know that?
Yeah.
All my albums are guitar stuff,
Yeah.
not the cultural on the
Yeah. But
other
when it comes
side.
to show, when it comes to
But
live,
it's come
live,
to show, yeah.
like stage
I
work,
prefer
you prefer the
culture.
cultural. Of course, I know that.
I
Yeah.
prefer culture because
Yeah.
but I needed people boys that can be patient with me and rehearse with me. And I will do well than I will do well in band than culture. But
Yeah.
because I didn't start with guitar and all those stuff. So it's so difficult for me to find
Yeah.
people when maybe you are staging amari has a man we need to see one. Okay, then if anyone where if any hears play ni me ihwani ogo me ti play lele
Mm.
so ni ave do bon set play because can venture on my easy ni lele.
It's
You
all right.
understand? If you say they understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So except way adori has ari has make me guitar now.
Yeah.
But I understand sound. I know keys. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mavis. Now,
One last question, short. Now,
no, no, Mujane.
Quickly. Yeah, authentic
Authentic
brothers
next
must
question,
ask
no, Mujane.
questions.
No,
We
question.
give money Kevin take over from
Make
here.
it
We
slay
need
one, you
contact
know,
with
them. What the upload the info?
because we see how Billy King's here now.
Public case
Yeah,
so that good Mara
that's
yesterday
my
time
father.
and because of
Mm.
issues so no like Baba Gege what take us through that your traveling journey. People
Okay,
want to know
okay,
why you
okay.
came back and why you didn't
Actually,
return. Mm-hmm.
well, honey is a personal thing anyway. Owo wa ma gbo ma we setting. We no need you. Actually, I came myself. I came back to Nigeria myself. You know, I traveled with Igbinedion when he was doing his birthday in 1994. I mean, 2004. 2004, he was doing his birthday in London, in South Africa, in Ghana, and all those stuff. You don't know where the whole world. Ona lile here. So again, yeah, you know. So when we all came back, um, each of us, Nobe with the base they all left one after the other. Then I also do the same thing. So at the time, I had to come back to Nigeria, you know. So if you sooner you know do sooner, TV anything anything new, but it was a kind of misappropriation explanation in the embassy, you know, because of having drums in EVOA, traditional drums in EVOA. So they were asking me questions like, "Are you performing here?" In a way, yes. If I had known, I would say no. In a way, yes, yeah, perform. I didn't know I was implicating myself actually because of those drums, Nivioe. So they were now saying, well, because didn't have anything wrong in my hand. So they just said they saw my videos. They saw that I'm an artist actually. But Iminoi Doriaiwa was that Omani memory on ya ne no ha ewi me be no wa drive you do no si many magba e chochopa oni ori do oni me ha ewoki or do pick me ina onari number me not knowing where me be or ma me be so yeah ohana bi amue ele me ya support so they were actually relying on that to for somebody to come and pick me mani magire me wa calling where iri number or enable yeah where to know if they will have to pick even or okay no problem me wa drop a phone you know what the phone yo
So,
on our the phone yo or the phone yo boy is a call phone majo so they now told me where that you know on me what to pick me if phone you working yari you know that means they were thinking I was lying so we do get now okay fine no problem actually I didn't know what to do I just told them to return me back to Nigeria and they actually told me where they don't want me to be gallivanting in the city, so I should go back and prepare my returning back to the UK. So I ina do cancel visa me yana wuki ni ya we yana we ni ya make appeal the British High Commission so that the working permit visa me later be working permit visa you know as a musician if you are performing over there like I said to them. So those were all mistakes and which I have learned from. So okay, no problem. I've heard them. Even inside that place, me and Yana detained me for 3 days. Me give see one where wow, you have a very nice voice. You are you sing well and all those stuff. So well, it's my job. It's what I do. So wow. They would like to see me on stage. Now okay, no problem. So I waited 3 days, nobody know name and Mary and all those stuff. You know, you no be win rain ya, you no be there phone yo, o ma be tamo ma, we done we okay, o ma be na report o, na ya gwen, o ma no me be no me pali, na ya gwen help you na wa feel on concern. Iri ya return me at you wa. So ba be deni ya we you book that my case is different, that I'm just a